All
John,
right.
they've set this up really, really
The
well, man.
script
I
writers did
mean,
a great job. By the
this
way,
is
really quick, Mark and I'm 30 and 35 in best bets. Mark is 43 and 22. We are going to continue to do best bets through the postseason, even though obviously the number of matchups that we have to pick from are few and far between at this point. But um, obviously Baltimore clinching the one seed gets them a bye this week. Same thing with San Fran in the NFC. And so you have six really solid matchups here. You're going to get, Miami visiting KC in the snow. You're going to get the Joe Flacco led Browns headed to Houston, which, was kind of an outside chance that they ended up winning the division, but the Titans got it done for them. You got the Steelers with Mason Rudolph visiting the Buffalo Bills. You got the underdog Green Bay headed to Dallas. You obviously have the Sunday night game that is a scriptwriter's masterpiece of the Stafford-led Rams heading back to Detroit, and you have the really fraudulent at this point looking Eagles headed to Tampa, who they beat up on last time they met, but Tampa's feeling reinvigorated and Eagles are looking scared. So, Mark, let's get started because I
dude,
think
it's
I
so
set the stage
beautiful.
okay on
It's
this,
so
right?
beautiful to look at. Drew did a great job. You're
Thank
gonna
you,
have to
Drew.
send me. You're gonna have to send me a cropped screenshot of that because I just want to set it as like my screensaver and stare at it for the rest of the week and just kind of just process my picks and stuff. But we got good picks for you. I don't know about you, John, but I kind of like the board.
I kind of do too. I'm curious if I actually end up rolling with anything for best bets, with one exception that I see on the board here. But we'll start with Browns at Houston. So, like I said, the CJ Stroud, what he's done as a rookie is incredible. This team ends up winning their division because of the Titans being able to play spoiler against the Jags, who you don't see on this playoff board anymore as a result. The Browns have a disgustingly good defense and a sufficient offense. Houston is kind of a potential Cinderella. Really, both these teams are kind of potential Cinderella stories for the playoffs here. Personally, I like Houston at home here to win this.
I was just in Energy Stadium. I was just in Houston, right? I just got back today. Um, I can't go with them, John. I think the Browns. I think Flacco. I'm going with the old bull, not the young calf. I
Also, I
think
got
I'm
a Drew's just sent this into the chat that he posted about 4 weeks ago about the Eagles being fraudulent. So good call there, Drew.
great work there.
Sorry, continue,
Yeah,
Mark.
Drew's work on the memes is he's up there. He does a great job with the memes. Um, I like the Browns, man. I like the Browns to go in there, take care of business. Yeah, that defense is tough for any quarterback. CJ Stroud's had a hell of a rookie year. I mean, one of the best that I can remember, but no quarterback in this league wants to see that defense, and surely not a rookie who doesn't, who has some of his best weapons out. Uh, I think the Browns take care of business.
Okay. I'm just struggling to fully buy into what the Browns are offensively right now, but I do agree that if anything's going to give them a chance, it is that defense. That is a historically good NFL defense.
I'm gonna go the
Um,
Browns with my best bets, by the way, John.
Whew, all right.
Set this. Why waste any time? Let's jump right into the best bets. First game we talk about.
Drew's yelling at me for jumping the gun on the Eagles game, but that meme was too good. I just had to show it. Um, all right, Miami at KC. Again, this is probably going to be a game in the elements. It's expected to be snowing and like under 10 degrees during the time of this game. Um, and look, man, I think this is exactly the type of matchup narrative that KC wants to have. I love the story that Miami has been this season. I think their offense was one of the most entertaining offenses to watch all season, but their defense is super banged up, and they're going against KC's defense, which has, a team that can probably hang with the speed that the Dolphins have. Probably one of the few teams in the NFL that can. So while KC has been rough this season, there's been red flags all over the place. I think this game at home at Arrowhead against this particular team in the elements, I think this is Casey's game to lose. So I'm taking him here. Looks like the betting market agrees with me too. They're 4.5 point favorites.
The speed of Miami gets neutralized with weather, right? I mean, they thrive down in Miami when it's warm. But when you come into the tundra and you come into a cold game and it's snowing, I mean, that's not the offense that you want to be in. And Kansas City's defense is fully aware of that. They're going to have a game plan for that. Like you said, Miami's defense is banged up. This screams Kansas City. And, I mean, I'm not going to put in my best bets, but you know that I feel strongly about Kansas City somehow making an AFC push this year against all odds. And they're going to start in the right direction by beating the shit out of Miami. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I think it could get ugly too. And again, love the story of the Dolphins, but they had way too many late season injuries, and I think this is a matchup that frankly goes horribly in the other direction. Not in their
Mahomes
favor
playoffs
at
at Arrowhead. He's never lost. Or he's lost one time.
all right, Steelers at Bills. Look, after the performance
Twice, actually,
the Bills have had in the past couple of games, with the Steelers missing TJ Watt and starting Mason Rudolph. I don't just like the Bills here. I love the Bills. I'm putting them in my best bets.
Man. John, you do owe an apology to Joshy.
I don't think so.
I know he's not playing I know he's turning the ball over, but the guy just took a team that had at one point 17% chance. 17% chance of making the playoffs, and he just got him the 2 seed in the AFC. You got to give him a little bit of an apology.
I will give him an apology because I do think that the Bills were going to just completely flunk out the season. And obviously I got proven wrong there. I think my opinion of Josh Allen kind of looking like Matt Stafford, I'm gonna stay on that one. Frankly, I can't group those two together.
You can't give him any credit for getting the 2 seed.
I can give him credit for squeaking into the 2 seed. That's incredibly impressive. I can give him credit for having, kind of the prowess to go and really turn the season around and lead this team to much higher heights than I thought they were ever going to get to this season. It's incredibly impressive. Don't get me wrong. The games that they won down the stretch here, they shouldn't have won. Crazy, crazy stuff. I still think Josh Allen's recklessness is going to get them in trouble. I mean, he threw 2 picks?
I know game? It was bad. It was bad.
It was so.
But that recklessness also leads to some incredible plays, and if he stacks more incredible plays than ugly plays, the Bills are dangerous. I would not want to see him either.
Like I said, it's Stafford, right? Like, has an incredible fourth quarter comeback as a result of doing some very questionable things in the first half.
Stafford didn't win a playoff game until he left Detroit. So I wouldn't. Josh Allen's been there. He's been in bigger games. He's won playoff games. He's hosted more playoff games.
Just hope none go into overtime, and he should be in okay shape.
Yeah, listen. You got to give Josh some credit, man. That's all I'm saying. And
I give him credit. I think he's a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I just think he has habits that I've seen before in the NFL, and they've been costly, right? All right, the underdog, Green Bay, headed to Jerry World. By the way, this frickin' 2 seed should be the Lions, and pending some circumstances with the Rams, San Fran, the frickin' 1 seed should be the Lions. Yes, I'm mad about it still 2 weeks later. Anyways, hopefully our neighbors in the north can pull off an incredible upset, because nothing sounds better to me than a Dallas choke first round exit to a Jordan Love who all the odds were stacked against them. Everybody expected this team to not make it.
He's a dude.
And sure enough, Green Bay has its 3rd franchise quarterback in a row. Freaking all 3 of them hat trick on drafting the right quarterback for your franchise. Yeah. I think Jordan Love is going to be sticking around. That's after this season.
Jordan Love's a guy, man. He's the 3rd in line.
Like 2nd or 3rd most passing touchdowns this season. That's not a stat I expected.
Jordan Love is a great quarterback. I'll say it. He's a great quarterback. He has come into his own. Green Bay, this is a team that it was supposed to be a rebuilding year. First year without Aaron Rodgers, and they're in the playoffs. It's incredible, man. And they're a dangerous young team. Dallas, should take care of business, but I'm not going to count Green Bay out of this one. I'm not going to say it's impossible that Green Bay doesn't get an upset.
Green Bay covers. That's what
I think. I think
high probability Green Bay covers.
I think Green Bay covers.
Do I think Dallas will win it? I don't know. Jerry World's a tough place to play. We've seen that, but but man, it would be awesome. I would love to see Green Bay upset Dallas. That would be so good. All right. Obviously, Vegas is betting on a pretty high-scoring shootout kind of game here. We have the Rams at the Lions. First time Ford Field hosts a playoff game. Jared Goff revenge game. Matt Stafford revenge game. These teams mutually match up horribly against one another. Their weaknesses are the strengths of the other team. I really don't know what to make of this game, Mark. I love Detroit.
John.
I love Detroit. I don't think I'm going to like your answer either. I love Detroit with this matchup, honestly, because I think that this is a destined need to win, need to break the curse situation. But I think you're going to have the opposite opinion. So let me hear it, Mark.
You ready?
Yep.
Detroit Lions, best bets.
Oh, shit.
And here's why. Okay? This line opened up at like 5.5 or 6. Everybody is putting money and betting on the Rams to cover. That spread continues to get smaller and smaller. Detroit is hosting a playoff game for the first time in our lives. That is going to be a bumping environment. Everyone's talking about Matthew Stafford coming back. How about Jared Goff getting his revenge? Matthew Stafford's had his moment. He left. He got his ring. He had his glory, his shine. The Rams are a very good football team, a very dangerous team. But Jared Goff and this Lions team is more motivated than ever. Similar to this Michigan thing, man. Like the Lions, you took away a win from them. You took away a 2 seed, maybe a 1 seed right out of their hands. They have added motivation. They've been underdogs. Like the country doesn't believe in the Detroit Lions. After all they've done this whole season, you're telling me that the spread is 3, start at 6 or 5.5. Like, that's all I needed to see, man. That's all I needed to see was that movement. Everybody's saying that the Rams are going to win. And I was one of those people early on. But seeing this trend here, Detroit's going to take care of business in this first home game. That place is going to be rocking. Matthew Stafford, I hope your night is hell. I hope that he struggles so bad. I hope he throws interceptions. I hope he takes sacks. I hope he takes big hits. I hope Matthew Stafford goes through hell in Detroit because he does not deserve to come back and steal from us. He owes us, John. He owes us.
Yeah, I think have a lot of questions about the Lions secondary, but I will say this, man,
I do too.
Their front seven is playing playoff football. 100%.
There's no doubt in my mind we're going to give up, 30 plus points. I just think that the Lions win this game and they win it by 3 or more. And I just feel really, really good about our offense and Jared Goff. That is if I had to answer with one thing of why I'm so confident, and this is probably the game I'm most confident about on these boards this week, which is crazy because if you would have asked me a week ago, I was feeling good about the Rams covering. I watched Detroit. I know they're out Laporta. I know some other guys are questionable, which, by the way, we did say was very dumb of Dan Campbell to play all those guys for 4 quarters. And, of course, he couldn't help himself, had to do it. But give me Detroit, Jared Goff, revenge. Jared Goff, revenge. That's all you need to know. We're taking care of business. We're getting our first playoff win at home in a very, very long time.
I'm stoked on it. I cannot wait to watch this game, and I'm happy that the NFL as a whole.
Was that the answer you were expecting?
No, I was expecting you to say Rams. I really was. And just because of the fact that this is not the matchup anybody wanted, but now that, things are simmering down a bit, this is a matchup of destiny, right?
It's the best matchup of the weekend. No doubt.
Totally. No doubt. This is a 30-year story that is about to be told. And I think Detroit rises to the occasion. I'm hoping to God that Detroit rises to the occasion because, like I said, there is no better way to sound in a new era of football in Michigan than Michigan winning the Natty and Detroit winning their first playoff game in 30 years in the same
week. 8 days of each other. Yeah.
Yeah. That just sounds right. That feels right. All right, Eagles at Tampa. Like I said, man, I'm if you're an Eagles fan, I'd be pretty worried. I think offensively they're massively underachieving at this point based off where their talent's at. And defensively, they have lost the plot completely. They gave up 3 touchdowns to the Giants to start the game last week with their starters in because they had the division to fight for. This is not looking good, and I think Tampa's motivated. I think Tampa's bought in on Baker Mayfield. I think Tampa has found ways to slowly improve throughout this season and win December football games when the Eagles have done nothing but choke over and over and over again. If you're an Eagles fan, you got to be concerned, right? That's my take on this.
There's concern. There's no doubt. But there's a lot of concern for Tampa Bay as well because they've looked like shit. They should have lost to Carolina, by the way, last week, and they shouldn't even be in that slot. Hammer the Philadelphia Eagles. Just when you think it couldn't get worse, right? This is rock bottom for Philly, okay? They were 10-1 at one point. All right? 10-1 at one point, and they have just shit the bed. But I'm telling you right now, I believe in Jalen Hurts. I believe in Jason Kelce, some of the veterans they have on this team, to take care of business in this game and give themselves a chance to compete in the NFC. Give themselves a chance to live and fight another day. Turn it around, okay? Eagles, best bet.
Wow. I think that December football is such a good indicator of playoff football. Makes a lot of sense, I would argue. I'm really concerned about the Eagles' ability to come in and play high-level December football right now. That's.
I don't even think it takes that high-level football to beat the Bucs.
I don't think so
That's
either.
why I'm so confident. I'm not saying they're going to make a run. The winner of this team is out next week for sure. But,
So if I'm thinking about this correctly, let's say Cowboys win, Lions win, Eagles win. Mm-hmm. That means Eagles at San Fran, Lions, Cowboys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Again, script writing. We love the script writing. I love the idea of the Lions having to go back to Jerry World and prove themselves all over again, too. And I know
what I love the idea of even more is us hosting Green Bay or hosting Philly.
Yeah.
That's what I like more.
I'm curious how good Green Bay. That's my biggest question mark because I actually I get this weird feeling in my gut that Green Bay is about to shock the world, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, we could be wrong. I think they'll keep it close, but
yeah, like I said, feel good about them covering, but we'll see. Anyways, I think that's basically all we got to cover. This was just, we're not even at an hour yet of recording, and I feel like this episode has just been bang, bang, bang.
It's loaded.
Talked about the Natty, talked about Saban retiring, talked about the coaching change-ups, previewed NFL football. 55 minutes. We got you all out of here. I can't think of a greater episode to go into the NFL playoffs with.
There's no better one-stop shop for national championship talk and college football playoff and NFL playoffs and just prepping you and giving you the picks to ride with. I will say, put a small fortune on Michigan, and I staggered the spread, and I'm feeling pretty confident with some extra money now to lock and reload into this NFL playoff picture. Staggered the spread. It wouldn't let me go any higher, John. I staggered money line 2.5, 3.5, 5.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5. I wanted to go up to 16.5, which by the way would have covered all the way up to that. I would have been a very rich man, but DraftKings wouldn't let me go any higher than that. So
it's good that they're imposing limits on you. I think after the season you've had, that it's right that they did that.
Yeah, they do. They're stopping me from greatness. They know that I'm going to break their bank.
100%.
43-22 this year in the NFL. College, I was good as well, but we haven't been doing best bets in college. But just ride with us, man. You got to be crazy not to. And for all of you that comment and say that we don't know what we're talking about, do you see the records? Most of our takes have aged pretty damn well.
Yeah, I think my pure football takes have been pretty decent this season, and Mark is right there with the spreads and the best bets, and that shows that you know ball. If
this is where you come to watch the best picks each week, and this is where you get rich. This is the Practice Squad Podcast Get Rich episode, or die trying.
Hey, thanks.
And it continues this week.
Yeah, let's go. Thank you very much for checking us out and listening. If you do not follow us on social media, please do so. We post short form content throughout the week. If you have not checked out our merch store, especially if you're an NFC North fan, I know for a fact that Green Bay and Lions fans should be at our merch store, tapping in and picking up some customized merch from an artist, Detroit artist that put together all four of the designs. Definitely should go check that out. Ride with us. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We are just a little bit of watch hours away from being able to monetize. That would help us out a lot if you, so maybe rewatch the episode. Maybe it's just that.
Love us or hate us. Love us or hate us. You want to be here for this. This is the best time of year. Look out for some short form content coming your way. I mean, you're just coming off of a great national championship game, and now you go into a great playoff wildcard weekend. This is what you want. This is where you want to be.
Yes, sir. Practice Squad Pod out. We will see you next week. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.